Today, we're diving into Tawfiq al-Hakim's incredible one-act play, The Song of Death. This is a story that just grabs you from the first page. It's all about a world where these ancient, ironclad traditions of honor are about to smash head-on into modern ideas of progress. And at its heart is a debt that can only be paid in blood.
Wow, that one line just says it all, doesn't it? That's from our main character, Asakir. It tells you everything you need to know about the agonizing, soul-crushing patience she has lived with. For her, every single day for 17 long years has been a slow, painful countdown to one thing and one thing only: revenge.
All right, so let's get into it. Section 1, a 17-year blood debt. To really understand this tragedy, we've got to go back to where it all started, with an unwritten law and a debt that has poisoned an entire generation. So to get what's going on in this play, you really have to wrap your head around the idea of a blood feud. This isn't just about getting angry. It's a sacred societal duty. Your honor isn't just your own. It belongs to your entire family, your whole clan. And if someone takes a life, that debt must be repaid with another life to restore the balance. It's a vicious and seemingly inescapable cycle. Okay, so here's the setup, and it is just wild. Asakir's husband is murdered, but instead of going to the police, she turns to tradition. She fakes her own son Alwan's death, telling everyone he drowned, but secretly sends him off to Cairo. And for what? For one single, all-consuming purpose. She has raised him from a distance to be the instrument of her revenge. For 17 years, this secret has been her entire life. So, that brings us to Section 2, The Educated Avenger Returns. After all this time, the day Asakir has lived and breathed for has finally come. Her son, the man she literally created to be an avenger, is finally on his way home. And this is where things get so interesting, because you have this massive clash of expectations. Asakir's instructions were crystal clear. Raise him as a butcher so he knows how to use a knife. In her world, a good life is one where family honor is restored, even if it's through violence. But Alwan, he wanted something else. He ran from that life and embraced education, becoming a scholar. You see, she thought she was forging a weapon, but what's walking through the door is an intellectual. Two completely different worlds are about to collide in one tiny hut. And there you have it. That's Alwan's real mission. He's not coming home with a thirst for blood. He's coming home with a vision for the future. He's thinking about clean water, better houses, education, a new way of life. He wants to pull his people out of poverty and ignorance, not drag them deeper into a cycle of killing. His weapon isn't a knife, it's knowledge. Section 3, a son's shocking refusal. This is it. This is the moment we've been building towards, where 17 years of a mother's burning hope runs straight into the brick wall of her son's new reality. You can just feel the raw, primal energy in her words. She hands him the saddlebag his father's body was carried in. She gives him the very knife that killed him, still rusted with old blood. This is the moment, the one she has sacrificed her entire life for. But Alwan's reply just shatters her entire world. He doesn't talk about death. He doesn't talk about revenge. He talks about life. Right there, you have the entire conflict of the play in two simple lines: her desperate plea for death and his quiet, revolutionary response. It's like Asakir can't even compute what he's saying. She's a broken record of grief and duty. For her, there is only one conversation to be had, one bill that needs to be paid. And there it is, the definitive refusal. 3 simple words that bring Asakir's world crashing down. Mother, I won't kill. The son she raised to be an avenger has just rejected the one and only purpose she has lived and suffered for nearly 20 years. So that brings us to Section 4, a mother's terrible choice. Alwan's refusal isn't just a letdown. In Asakir's world, it's an absolute catastrophe. And it's one that's going to force her to make a horrifying decision. And you have to understand, this is the key to the whole tragedy. For Asakir, her son refusing to kill isn't a private family matter. No, it's a public disgrace. The entire village is watching. If he doesn't act, their family name is mud forever. And in her world, where honor is literally everything, that kind of shame is a fate far, far worse than death. So let's just walk through her thought process, because it's absolutely chilling, but in her world, it makes a terrible kind of sense.
The shame is the disease, and her son, Alwan, is the source. So in her mind, the only way to cure the disease and save the family's honor is to eliminate the source. If he won't be an avenger, then he has to be a corpse.
And this is the point of no return. She takes that rusty knife, the one meant for her enemy, and hands it to her nephew, Sumeida. But she gives him a new target, her own son. And listen to her justification. She says it's better for him to be dead than to live as a coward. She truly, deeply believes she is saving him from a fate worse than death itself.
Which brings us to our last section, the song's final meaning. We're at the devastating conclusion now, where the title of the play finally takes on its full tragic horror. Remember at the beginning of the play, her nephew Sumeida sang a song to let her know that Alwan had arrived safely? That song was a signal of hope, of her plan finally coming together. Now, she waits in the dark, listening for that same song, but its meaning has been horribly, horribly twisted. And then she hears it. The same melody, the same words about shame and a father's death, but this time it's not a song of arrival. It's a funeral song. It's the signal that Sumeida has done the unthinkable and murdered his own cousin, all to wash away the family's shame. The entire play ends on her single, choked cry, "My son." Is it a cry of victory, of grief, of horror? Maybe it's all of them at once. She has saved her family's honor, but in doing so, she has destroyed her son, her future, and her own soul. The price of tradition was everything. And that's really the question the Song of Death leaves us with. It forces us to look at the terrifying power of these deeply ingrained cultural codes. And it asks, what happens when preserving honor means destroying the very people you love? It is a timeless, powerful story that will stick with you long after it's over.